Hello, hello. This is Debbie Drum, and welcome to this week's workshop mini, where I give you tips, actionable tips that you can use in your business right away in 20 minutes or less. And today we're going to be talking about low content and why you need low content skills. Okay. When I talk about low content, I am referring to both content and physical products content. Okay, and we talk about this a lot, but I really want to kind of drive this point home today because if you've never made any money online or you're struggling to have some kind of like side business or side way to make passive income, then low content might be the best place for you to get started because it's low content, which means that it doesn't take a lot of time, energy, or resources to create stuff and put them up very, very quickly to sell. All right. And this genre has been really hot for the past couple of years, and it still is because the market is not saturated and it can never get saturated, and it's wide open because there's so much room for creativity. And the more content that comes out in the world, meaning like content like media, content when the president says something, let's just say the president says something, we won't go farther than that, things like that that are happening all the time that we can create amazing content around. And again, both physical and digital content, okay? So when we talk about low content digital content, we're talking about low content books like journals and workbooks and puzzle books and any type of book that doesn't require you to write a book. Okay, so you could put your imagination behind that, and there's actually tons and tons and tons and tons of people who are searching for the keyword journal. And if you can create some kind of journal, number one, learn the process, right? So let's say like you have an idea, it could be great, it could be whatever, but you just want to do it, test it out, and just do the whole process of creating the journal to getting it onto Kindle, to getting a cover, to putting a description, whatever it is, putting that process together, doing it, and then getting that experience so that you can do it again and again and again and again, okay? What I would recommend for you is to have some kind of goal that you strive to. So maybe you want to put up, if journals are your thing or workbooks are your thing, maybe you want to put up like 10 per month and see what happens, or one a week, right? So maybe you don't have a ton of time, but these low content books, like when I first started publishing books, I would be writing a book a week, and my book were minimum 25, I think it was like 25,000 words. So, and that was a lot of work. That was so much work and so much time, so much editing, and I just had to sit there all day. And these low content journals and these low content books and workbooks, they just don't need that much brain power. And I just have my book as a reference here, my point click workbook creation. It did not take, like, just because I actually planned this out, it took me about a month to create this, only because I just didn't want to do it in one setting. But you can make a workbook for anything, like a pregnancy workbook, a health workbook, and you don't even need to be an expert in the topic to make a workbook. So you can research some information about like a keto diet plan and just make a workbook out of that and call it whatever it is you want, keto diet plan workbook, and I am sure people would buy it. Like it's almost impossible to fail with this, because I don't know, people just find, you don't even have to really do much marketing. People just find this on Amazon and they buy it. Now, are you going to be a millionaire over it? I don't know, but if you create enough, It's always a numbers game, as we talk about, and if you create enough of them, then you can make a nice little passive income for yourself. If you don't want to create a workbook, which is a little bit more work than a journal, there are journals that are selling like estimated like $1,000 a month in sales that literally have, you know, the question of the day and lines to fill for people to write in and fill in their answer. So what's interesting too, and I actually had an idea to do this. I probably won't do it just because I'm super busy with other stuff, but being laid up and injured, what I did was every single day I had this like a journal type book, right? And it's just a plain notebook, and it has room to write the date in it and the year, whatever, a little in the title. And every day I would make like a word of the day. So I was in my sling for about 45 days, and I made a word of the day every single day and colored it in. So imagine if you were to make a journal, let's say like a 50-page journal, and have like on the left side have what inspired your word, and then on the right side have just in text like a bubble font text where like people could color it in. Those are so easy to find and they're free. And make a word of the day and for people to actually color in, because journaling and coloring for people are very, very therapeutic. I was never much of a journaler, and never like much of like an adult colorer, but just going through that process was very therapeutic for me. And I thought that would be a great idea for a journal, because people are going through tough times all the time, right? Stressful times, and people journal, and that's why these things sell so well. And people who buy one journal will buy like many journals, right? Now, the other side of the world is the physical products and low content physical products. So like creating mugs and pillowcases, and you know, if you want to get into t-shirts, I think t-shirts are a little bit tougher because they're very competitive, and I think they require a lot more design skill to either do yourself or pay somebody else to do it. I just don't like the t-shirt model, but some people do. Pins, right? Cell phone cases, designing cell phone cases, any type of product that you can put an image on is a low content product, pretty much. And you can actually, if you have whatever place you're using to create these or to sell these physical products, like Gear Bubble, for instance, because they provide the products, you can actually take the same design and put it on multiple products. So if one is doing well, you're like, hey, this mug is selling well, maybe I'll try to put it on a pillowcase, or maybe I'll try to put it on a poster. Posters are one of my favorite things to sell because they're a combination of content and the physical product, which if you're, and that's just, we've talked about this before, and that market is just wide open. Oh my gosh, there's so much opportunity there. So you can even sell, once you create that poster, you can sell it in the physical form, and then you can go over to Etsy and sell it in the digital form. Why not, right? So doing that and being able to either, again, learn the process, create it yourself, or have some help, outsource it, whatever you want to do. We've gone over that before, how to do like a hybrid model. Maybe you come up with the idea, then hire a low-cost designer to design it. Creating these little passive products, not only is it great for income, but it's also great for motivation, because when you make a sale, you're like, yes, I made a sale, and now you know you can do it, and then you can just go and do more and more and more and more and more. So that's what's really exciting. Okay, so I wanted to introduce to you Journal Tsunami, which is a product that my friend Rebecca came up with about teaching these low content journals. She has 3,000 journals up on Amazon. I don't know if they're all journals, but she said she has 3,000 books on Amazon. She's just like a monster publishing these books. So Rebecca's story is very interesting. Now, I'm not sure how she learned how to publish journals, probably from some content, mixture of all of us, putting content out there. But she took it, she ran with it, and then she created a product to show people how to do it. Okay, so this should be an aha moment, an eye-opening moment for you. That's all you need to do. When you create success in your own business and then you can show other people how to do it, you have a tremendous asset on your hands. And that's the whole idea about making money online, is that you want to do it, you want to get good at it, you want to learn the hard stuff and the easy stuff and the shortcuts, and document your process, and make mistakes. That's a big thing too, right? Make the mistakes, and then you can show other people how to do it, and then you can make something valuable. And then you can make connections with other people and say, hey, I've got something valuable that you can offer to your audience. And that's how you make even more money, right? So this is kind of like the cycle of, and what I'm always teaching about, like my journey method of not knowing how to do something, to learning how to do something, to getting good at it, learning, like I just said, all the mistakes and everything, and then teaching other people how to do it. Okay, that's like the whole cycle, and that's kind of the secret of how everything works. Is a workbook like a planner? Or a planner is another type of book that you can create, like a calendar planner for sure. That's just another kind of low content book, because all these things that we talk about, low content, the umbrella of low content, if you really, really, really think about it, is images, it's a little bit of text, right? Maybe doing some market research on what people are buying, what is trending. Like for instance, when so many people were making a ton of sales on all types of products when Stranger Things came out on Netflix. So new shows are coming up on Netflix every single day that people, there are like these niches. That's another thing, like a sub niche. People who are crazy about a thing, right? Maybe it's a sport like pickleball. Maybe it's a show on Netflix, or maybe it's a book, right? Or maybe it's some new celebrity who has a following, right? So it could be anything that a small group of people that are crazy about. And actually, the smaller the sub niches, the more likely you are going to, whatever you're selling, whatever you're putting up for sale is going to stand out, right? Because not a lot of people are going to be, like millions of people are not going to be putting out mugs about, sub niche stuff. It's just not going to happen. And sub niche stuff is happening all the time. And that's why this market will never, ever get saturated, right? So take advantage of it. Learn it. Why not? Because what's the alternative? I don't know. I'd rather build something today and put it up and just hands-free make sales like I do with my posters, which is awesome, right? I mean, it doesn't pay the bills. I've got to do other things, but it adds to it. Every little thing that you do adds up, right? And that's kind of what you want to do. You want to develop your skills so that you're more marketable and you can help other people. And that's the secret. It's not only in the US. It's you can do this anywhere in any country. Absolutely. As long as you can publish books to Amazon, that's fine, right? Any idea how profitable 3,000 journals are? I would say, well, here's the thing. You get more profitable. Okay, so there's different answers to that. Sometimes your profit is short-lived, like if it's like a fad or a trend that's like popular. So let's just do an example. Stranger Things is probably not as popular now as it was a couple of years ago, right? So sometimes we have trending things like that. Sometimes we have constant things that just sell, 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 sell because it's just a thing and people are always interested in it, right? And then there's a learning curve, of course. So if you publish something, maybe that won't do as good as something that you publish later on because you've gotten better at titles, or you've gotten better at covers, or you've gotten better at, your process has gotten better. Keyword research got better. Actually, one of the things that I was chatting with Rebecca about, who's the creator of Journal Tsunami, she said that the new KDP CreateSpace physical product, because now there's no, like, CreateSpace is fading out, so it's only physical books on Kindle, which is nice because everything is now under one roof. So you don't have to go to another place and put all your information in. It's just under one roof. And she said that the keyword tagging on CreateSpace is killer now. So these are all the things that you're going to learn from Rebecca inside of Journal Tsunami. She's going to show you everything from like soup to nuts. And again, the value is in what you're going to be getting by learning the process, learning how to do it, putting some up yourself, and then presenting your findings, right? That's the thing, because if you can hold up your own book at the end of the day, right, with your name on it, it's, number one, a very special thing, and number two, you have proof that you've done it and you can show other people how to do it. Attempt to do some physical products or low content books. I strongly urge you to do it because it's something that you can do on the side, and you never know if you will strike gold.